welcome to Rockpit Retrospective, where we take a look at some of our favourite albums here at the Rockpit. And I thought I'd kick things off with one of my all-time favourite albums, Joe Satriani's Surfing with the Alien, which is, as far as instrumental records go, this is definitely one of the top ones, and also a pivotal record in Satriani's career. It was the second album that he released in 1987. But it was the album that launched his career and popularized his brand of music, and it's a fantastic album. I've always gone back to it over and over again over the years, and it was also the first album that I picked up from Satriani before I kind of discovered Satriani's back catalogue. It was a time, at the time I got into his career a little bit late. It was sort of in the 90s, and during a time when alternative rock and new metal and things like that were kind of popular, and a lot of the guitar oriented kind of aspects as far as solos and things like that were kind of going down the wayside, and it was Satriani that actually inspired me to get back into that music again. The solos and sort of the technical aspects of guitar. So I've always sort of seen him as a bit of an inspiration for me as far as my musical taste and stuff. Interestingly enough, this album was obviously recorded in 1987, but looking at some of the notes about how the album was recorded, it was recorded mostly with a drum machine, which, programmed drums obviously is a commonplace thing these days, but back then it was purely down to just budget reasons. I believe there was one of the songs that was recorded live by Jeff Campitelli, which I think it was Satch Boogie, which is obviously a live favourite, and then it sounds great obviously, but you can tell it was a sort of a drum machine doing a lot of the drum tracks on there. Obviously this is a great album. A lot of the songs on here are still live favourites, Ice Nine and Satch Boogie and things like that. The title track obviously is one of my favourites on the album as well, and sets the tone for the rest of the record. Now obviously this is also famous for having the Silver Surfer on the front cover. At least the original version was. This is obviously a Marvel comic character for those who are into that kind of stuff. But the later versions that was released a couple of years ago, the remastered versions, doesn't actually feature the Marvel character. It actually has just a guitar headstock. And this is the vinyl version right here, but I believe all the versions of it have the same artwork now, which is this revised version. I believe the reason is because they never came to some agreement on renewing the contract for getting the rights to using the character. So there you go. The vinyl version is really cool. It has two versions of the album. It's got the remastered version of the songs on here, red vinyl, and the other version is actually, which is the yellow vinyl, is actually just got backing tracks. No guitar solos from Satriani on this one. So it's interesting to hear the actual backing tracks without the solos, and a lot of it's just sort of kind of mundane ho-hum kind of stuff. It's obviously where Joe Satriani leads the way. And I always felt obviously his solos were kind of like the vocal aspect in his music, but the vinyl versions are probably the better version to go. And obviously the CD is really cool and stuff, but the vinyl gives you some extra stuff, including some additional like old photos and extra liner notes, including some words from Satriani himself. So it's a fantastic release, especially if you've never heard of this particular album, and certainly a very good gateway to get into Joe Satriani stuff as well. So I've always been a big fan of Satriani, and I've seen him numerous times over the years live. I've met him, had some stuff signed by him. Actually, the cover of the Surfing with the Alien album, which another version that I've got posted up on the wall. Very nice guy, and just one of my all-time favorite guitar players. So this is the album to pick up if you want to get into Satriani stuff, and just in instrumental music in general. I think is a great way to start things off. So Joe Satriani's Surfing with the Alien.